This is CBS.
You know, I'm an old-fashioned guy. I believe in giving people more for their money. So not only is everything on Wendy's Super Value menu 99 cents each, but now you can get our country fried steak sandwich. It's delicious and just 99 cents. Great with biggie fries, or try our chili or Caesar side salad. You can only get them at Wendy's. You don't pay more, you just get more. And that's the truth.
Try the country fried steak sandwich on Wendy's 99-cent Super Value menu.
This Camel's system is so adaptive, it can travel 50 miles in desert heat without taking fluid, making it one of the world's most dependable animals. This automobile system is so adaptive that if necessary for your safety, it is engineered to travel 50 miles in desert heat without a single drop of coolant, which might also tell you something about its dependability. The Seville STS with the North Star system by Cadillac, creating a higher standard.
Hi, Daddy.
What?
I've got a chance to take French in summer school.
Why, that's wonderful.
In Paris.
France?
First Union introduces the reality check, the loan that can turn dreams
Yes, I'm still here.
into reality.
One more time, big guy.
Because not every kid who deserves a scholarship to college gets one. First Union introduces the reality check, the hassle-free loan that can help make realities out of dreams.
You're watching the one to turn to WPEC TV 12. Now, from the one to turn to for news, Chandra Bill, Tim Malloy, sports with Dan Oliver, and John Matthews, this area's most trusted meteorologist. Live, this is WPEC Eyewitness News at 11.
Another blow to Florida's tourist industry leveled by teenage thugs, the victim this time a British visitor. Good evening, everyone. It's a violent twist on hands across the water. A British tourist finds the American hand is holding a gun.
Overseas, Great Britain's top story is our top story.
This is World News Tonight.
British tourist whose boyfriend had just been shot by two men in Florida made a desperate telephone call to the emergency services. Margaret Jagger told the operator, "He's dying, he's really dying, please help."
Near Tallahassee, a British couple gunned down, and the reverberates through Europe once again. Florida News Network reporter Jack Hambrick had a report. We're going to go to Elizabeth Alex right now with her report.
Shattered glass and a trail of blood start the story of a British couple's terror. The 911 tape tells the rest.
This is a 911 operator. What is the emergency?
Yeah, I want an ambulance. My husband's dying. We've been shot with a monocyl alert daddy on Interstate 10. He's dying. He's really dying.
Cops say 34-year-old Gary Colley of Yorkshire, England, and his friend, 35-year-old Margaret Jagger, were headed to Tampa in an unmarked rental car when they got tired and pulled over to a rest stop on I-10 near Tallahassee. As they rested, two teenage gunmen approached, demanded money, then systematically blasted them. Colley died at the scene. Jagger will be okay. Later, a grim-faced Governor Childs called a news conference condemning the brutality.
Violence and brutality have no welcome mat in Florida.
Try telling that to a frightened population of potential foreign tourists.
Good evening. A British tourist whose boyfriend had just been shot by two men in Florida made a desperate telephone call to the emergency services.
Video of a flak jacket-clad governor visiting Miami after the last tourist was killed makes many wonder if the governor's not safe here, who is? Plus, a gloomy Commerce Secretary explains that it's all a crusher for Florida tourism.
And there's just no way I can stand up here and put a happy face on this one. This is going to have a very, very negative impact.
After the murder, Florida yanked all domestic and international tourism advertising until the crisis settles down. Meantime, both the governor and the Florida Department of Law Enforcement take their own shots at the legislature for scaling back police and prison programs.
Let's be clear about this. We've got a shortage of police presence in the state, and we need to augment it. Last session, we asked for $4 million to combat violent crime, and I got less than $500,000.
Today, police found an abandoned car near a Tallahassee high school fitting the description of the getaway car. But so far, no sign of the young men who have an entire state looking for them. And you can bet state officials are reacting. In fact, Florida's rest stops are safer tonight than they've been in a long time. Governor Lawton Childs is calling in the troops, Department of Transportation, wildlife officers, and the Marine Patrol, all on alert. An officer has been placed at every single rest stop in the state, from Key Biscayne to the Georgia border.
We're all reacting to a situation right now. We've not really sat down and formulated a game plan and then said this is the way we're going to do it. We're not going to say it's management by crisis, but we are in fact responding to the public outcry for these things, and we are in fact assigning our people to do the appropriate things.
The officers will remain in a heightened state of alert until further notice from the governor.
In other news, while the cops investigate the death of a school bus driver, the 4 students who may have been involved in it are sent home. 53-year-old Fontaine Watkins was found dead in the aisle of his bus hours after fighting with the boys aboard the bus. His nose was broken. He died of heart failure. Will the students face criminal charges? The cops won't say. The school, however, is trying to make a point.
I'd hope the message would be that every adult that children interact with deserves respect.
The bus drivers' union wants security cameras on all the buses and replacement drivers at ready. They say their jobs are dangerous and they're totally fed up.
1 boyfriend, 2 girls, and 2 babies. It all added up to violence on a school campus in Fort Pierce yesterday. At Fort Pierce Central High School, 2 girls, both claiming the same boy is the father of their children, got into a fight. One of the girls stabbed the other in the face and also wounded an assistant principal in the arm. Stanley Banner is the young man in the middle of all this.
Like I said, I didn't want this to happen like this. People was telling me I should go ahead and say it's mine to get it over with, but I'm waiting for test results to come back.
Police say this is just another example of how conflicts started outside of school are brought onto campus.
13-year-old boy is being treated tonight in a hospital after being hit by a truck while crossing the street. Jesus Escalera was crossing Australian Avenue on his bike. When he was hit from behind, he was thrown nearly 50 feet. He is expected to recover. A little more than an hour ago, a hit-and-run driver runs over a man on Southern Boulevard. He was flown to St. Mary's Hospital, where he's being treated in the trauma center right now. Sheriff's deputies arrested the driver. They say alcohol may have been to blame. In Fort Pierce tonight, a man has become the victim, apparently, of racial harassment. 27-year-old Kevin Giles came home from work and found a 4-foot-tall wooden cross burning on his front yard. Cops say there was an odor of lighter fluid in the air. Giles' family is the only African-American family in that neighborhood.
A South Florida couple is all smiles tonight after a Palm Beach County judge awarded them custody of their adopted daughter, Emily. Now, the decision follows a lengthy battle launched not by the child's mother, but by Emily's biological father. Eyewitness News reporter Eric Glasser has the story.
The waiting has been very, very difficult.
When Angel Welsh got home from work today, she cradled her 1-year-old daughter, Emily, for the time knowing the child was legally hers to keep.
And I'm still in shock. We're very, very thankful.
Angel and her husband, Joseph, have been fighting for legal adoptive custody of Emily since she was born. The child's natural mother, Linda Benko, believed then and now that the Welshes would give the child a better life.
I don't plan on having a role in her life now. I placed them in the care of, of Steve and Angel, and they're her parents.
But the adoption hit a legal snag when Emily's biological father, Gary Bjorklund, re-entered the picture. Although he and Benko were never married, Bjorklund filed suit in Palm Beach County Court for parental rights. After weeks of legal wranglings, the judge said no and awarded the Welshes custody of Emily.
The court followed the dictate of the Florida Supreme Court in requiring a man to provide meaningful financial and emotional support to a woman while pregnant or lose his right to block the adoption of their unborn child.
Bjorklund has stayed low-key, refusing to comment throughout the case. And following today's ruling, his attorney would only say they plan to appeal. In Boca Raton, I'm Eric Glasser, TV 12 Eyewitness News.
Despite the threat of that appeal, attorneys for the Welsh family say the adoption will be finalized over the next few weeks.
He committed a crime, and he did it on camera, and that is enough to get 19-year-old Christopher Reinhardt 47 years behind bars. Reinhardt and an accomplice robbed a jewelry store last year. The store owner was sprayed with mace. Well, Jack Schramm recovered. There's the mace spraying. And he watched today as the judge gave Reinhardt the max.
The way our state is set up, he's going to probably just serve the minimum rather than the maximum. But the judge sentenced him to as much as she could, and I think it's appropriate.
Reinhardt apologized for the harm he did. It is unlikely to serve the full jail term. In Washington, 4 keepers of the Oval Office, 2 Republican, 2 Democrat, gathered today for the signing of the North American Free Trade Agreement. President Clinton was joined by former presidents Carter, Bush, and Ford, inking NAFTA, actually, which now faces a rugged uphill battle in the Congress. The bipartisan display aimed at diffusing charges by labor that by loosening trade restrictions on Canada and Mexico, American jobs will go across the border.
A Lufthansa jet carrying 70 people ran off a runway in Warsaw, Poland today and exploded into flames. 2 people were killed, 45 hurt as the jet tried to land in bad weather. The Airbus A320 touched down normally, then the pilot just couldn't stop. When the jet hit an embankment, it broke apart. Firefighters did manage to bring the blaze quickly under control. Another aviation accident, this one involving an Air France flight landing in Tahiti. The Boeing 747-400 overshot the runway and plunged into a lagoon. Luckily, only minor injuries and people hospitalized for shock. The jumbo jet was en route from Paris to Los Angeles with more than 250 passengers.
Some local political news now. Voters in Belle Glade casting their ballots tonight in the race for city commission. And here are some of the winners. Incumbent J. Stephen Weeks beat out Tammy Gilbert. Rodney Clay Conell squeaking past incumbent Bill Bailey. And Happy Tucker wins over Johnny Johnson. 42% of the voters turned out for tonight's race.
On the Treasure Coast tonight, a group that helps people in need has itself fallen on hard times. At the Salvation Army in Fort Pierce, the cupboards are nearly bare. Stories the same in Stewart and Vero Beach. Workers say a larger than normal number of families needed help in the last 2 months.
For example, last month we fed over 2,000 in our soup kitchen, and we had close to 200, maybe 200 families that we helped with our food baskets. You know, families that came in and needed assistance to hold them over.
The Salvation Army welcomes any canned goods or non-perishable foods such as beans or pasta to help them through this dry spell.
Been a busy day, and here's what's coming up for you tonight on TV 12 Eyewitness News. The doctor with a penchant for death gets another jab from a Michigan judge.
Also ahead, memories of Discovery's false starts fade fast as the crew deploys satellite number 2.
Later on, after sports, going to show you what big budget Christmas shoppers can look forward to this holiday season. And here's John.
Hi everybody, John Matthews in the Doppler 12 Weather Center. Tropical depression number 8 formed today in the Caribbean, and I'll come back with a satellite view and show you why this may or may not be important to us. Here's a live look at our Doppler radar. The weather is next on TV 12.
Thanks for watching the one to turn to, WPEC TV.